Good evening, and welcome to the West Burlington Independent School District Candidate Forum conducted by the Greater Burlington Partnerships Government Relations Committee. My name is Brandon North, and I will be your moderator this evening. Our timekeeper is Brian Bross. In the interest of time and fairness to the other candidates, I'm going to ask each candidate to observe Brian's signal and stop your response when time is up. Tonight's forum will consist of a set of predetermined questions, and each candidate will have up to 90 seconds to respond. A decision was made by the Government Relations Committee to have candidates answer the questions impromptu. In other words, they have not seen the questions in advance. Questions from the audience will not be accepted. Candidates are seated in alphabetical order. Lee Boughton, Amanda Hancock, and Kayla Heitmeyer. Mary Storch could not come with us tonight. Candidates who are not present this evening did not provide statements to be read on their behalf. We will start by having you introduce yourself and share why you're running for the seat on the school board. You'll have 60 seconds.
My name is Lee Boughton. I was on the West Burlington School Board for 8 years before, got off for 4 years, or maybe a little more, and I had a lot of people ask me if I would like to go back on the school board. Because I said, yeah, they said because they thought I'd be a good candidate.
Amanda?
So I've been on the West Burlington School Board for the last 4 years. I actually think I replaced Lee. But I'm running for school board again just because it's been a really great opportunity to serve the community. It's been really rewarding to see the improvements that we've been able to make in the district over the last 4 years and see the future of where we're intending to go with West Burlington. So it's just been really exciting and really fulfilling.
Okay.
Born and raised in West Burlington, went to school. I'm an alumni from West Burlington Independent School District. I have 4 children. 3 of them are school age. They go to West Burlington. I'm very active with them and things that they do in school and out of school, and just looking for ways to enhance their learning as well as their peers and to kind of get more engaged and learn the day-to-day of what goes on with finances and try to help make it the best school district in the Southeast Iowa.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Lee, we'll start with the questions, and we'll start down there with you. How have you been involved or interacted with the district, and how does that inform your priorities as a board member?
I've been a member of West Burlington since 1957, and I think being on the school board prior and being on the school board, maybe getting on the school board now, I can enhance some of the thinking and determination how our school district be run.
Amanda?
So in the past, I've served as a junior achievement volunteer in multiple elementary school classrooms. So it's been really fun to be in the classrooms with the teachers and the students interacting. Each of those sessions is about a 6-week segment. So you're doing that 6-week segment with multiple different classes, serving on different committees. I'm currently the vice president of the board. There's been a lot of day-to-day things. We have meetings every other Thursday, just going through district leadership stuff, working on different human resources issues, things like that, it takes more time than I anticipated, but it's been a really good time commitment.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question?
Certainly.
Thanks.
How have you been involved or interacted with the district, and how does that inform your priorities as a board member?
Well, I think being a past student in the school district, as well as, that alone can help shape a lot of things and how I grew up and how things have evolved and how, any certain changes could be relating to like when I was in school. Otherwise, within the school district itself right now, other than just chaperoning or helping out with class parties for my younger daughter or other things, I have done coaching, but it hasn't really been in the school. It's kind of been away, but it's with kids that go to West Burlington. So that's how I've been able to be involved up to this point, and just looking for ways to kind of enhance that in the future.
Okay. Amanda, we'll start with you. An individual school board member has no authority. Only the board as a whole can make decisions for the district. What skills or traits will allow you to contribute to effective operations of the board as a whole?
I would say that's been one of the things that's been hardest to do. We've had a lot of changes with different curriculums that we've adapted, hiring the new superintendent, hiring a new secondary building principal, hiring the new elementary school principal, adding an assistant principal for the elementary school. And all of those things, you're trying to convey your hopes, your dreams, your wants, your dislikes, and then you're taking everybody else's information and you're trying to make the best decision for the district. And we don't always see eye to eye. I don't know that people know that we don't. But it's been really rewarding. But that's been the hardest thing, that coming onto the board, I didn't anticipate that it would be so black and white, sometimes with lots of gray, where everybody has different opinions as to what's best for kids, because we all think what we want is best for kids.
Okay.
I think having effective communication and listening can kind of help go a long way when it comes to being able to hear both sides. You know, as a board, you are a team just as much as the team you represent within the school district. So being able to hear, you know, common concerns or complaints about things, but knowing that there's always two sides to the story and being able to grasp the whole situation and bring it in and then understand it and see how we as a school can be better or changes that can be done to make things better will benefit kind of everybody. And then just, you know, critical thinking and what goes into it. I know Amanda had said, you know, sometimes what's best for the student isn't what's best for the parent, and or somewhere around those lines. But then that holds very true with it too. You know, you have to have those tough conversations and you have to be willing to be the bad guy sometimes.
Lee?
As being a former board member, I know you can't adjust to the people. You have to listen to the people. You have to listen to the teachers. And one board member, as I say, cannot decide what goes on. And I believe that is a very important piece. You need to learn to listen to the teachers, the staff, and the students. Even if students have a difficulty, I believe we need to listen to the students also.
Thank you, Lee. Kale, we'll start with you on this next one. What do you believe is the first or top priority of public education?
The classes that these students take prior to or up to graduation. Part of one thing I guess I was a part of was the graduation review process committee, where some parents got in and we tried to make not things easier, things better, or even a little harder in some degrees to kind of push kids to be better for when they graduate, to set them up for more success later on, whether that's college or trade schools or other stuff. And some of the classes that things have moved to or are moving to are looking to kind of set them up for success better. So I would say the actual classrooms that the classes that they're taking or required to take, and not just taking the electives or other things like that maybe are just going to kind of push them through school, but not really encourage them to learn and dig deeper into their education.
Lee?
Could you please read it?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Certainly.
heard it, but I want to make sure I understand
No, certainly.
everything.
What do you believe is the first or top priority of public education?
As one of the board members from the Burlington was saying, the students should come first. They need to be given the best education you can get without anything. Students, in my opinion, number one priority are the students of West Burlington Independent School District. They are the most important district we can give to our students.
So the top priority of public education, I think, needs to be the student, and it needs to be all aspects of the student. We need to be looking at mental health. We need to be looking at sports. We need to be looking at drama and music, fine arts. You've been involved with coaching. I'm not helping there. And thank God we have people who do, because that's not something that I'm passionate about. That's not something I'm good at. I broke multiple fingers and bones proving that. And so looking at all aspects of our students and making sure that we're meeting their needs in those aspects. We've extended our early learning center recently. So we're now serving younger students. And then we've also expanded to the alternative side of things for those kiddos that aren't graduating with their peers that still want to, or that have done 4 years at West Burlington and haven't met those graduation requirements yet. So we're going full circle. We've been expanding our special, our students who need extra supports, and just really working on all aspects of that student experience for our kids.
All right. Lee, we'll come back down there to you. What key issues do you plan to focus on as a board member, and what are some ways you hope to help promote student achievement?
I guess you could say, like I said before, students, number one, and get the best education for the teachers, help the teachers get a good job and good pay and good philosophy for the school. If the students have a problem, of course, they have to go to the principal first. And then if they have a problem, we can bring it to the school board. And I think the students also have a right to give their opinion on how things are running.
Amanda?
Can you read the question again?
Certainly. What key issues do you plan to focus on as a board member, and what are some ways to help promote a student achievement?
So some key things that I would like to continue to push is extending those college credits to our top students, and then continuing to have other offerings for kiddos who aren't interested in going to college. So for some, it's adding AP classes, it's adding those SEC classes, it's expanding the catalog that they can have the district pay for while they're students. And then for other students, it's continuing to add, Taylor Fountain's doing great things in the like shop and welding and stuff like that. So continuing to promote trades, I think has been a really good thing for our district, especially with as many students stay in the area after graduation. Just having them set up for success after they leave our doors. And then just continuing to improve where we're sitting right now with literacy and with our math scores in the state. I'd like to see us be in that top 10% in the state. And currently we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so obviously a big one, and it's not just in West Burlington, it's all over, it'd be staff retention, mainly the teachers, and how do we retain them and not encourage them to seek a job out elsewhere, even if it is local, to how do we keep them in, how do we build that relationship that we have with them, make them love coming to work day to day and wanting to teach the kids, and make the school better. Building updates are another big thing. I know the elementary, I know that it's an old building. I know it needs updates. Just trying to figure out more like what the timeline is for that, how that looks, how we're going to budget for that. And then to touch on that, obviously, is the budget itself, just understanding how money can be spent in certain places, how much money we have coming in and allocating for certain things. Are we setting money aside for building updates to enhance our learning environment for our kids and our staff that have to work there and be there every day? Obviously, class sizes, just taking a look at where we're at, where we've been in the past, where we are now, where we're going in the future. And then, like Amanda talked about, expanding the learning outside through colleges or enhancing trades or building the relationships with other schools and seeing what they have to offer.
Amanda, Kayla actually kind of touched on this next question that I'm going to ask. We hear about Burlington and West Burlington forming stronger community collaborations. In what ways could the district engage in these conversations?
I feel like we're doing a really good job of doing that now. I know Jason, our current superintendent, is meeting a lot with the other superintendents in the area, seeing what's working, what's not working, what their teachers are liking. We're working together in terms of we've got teachers that go to MIPO for part of the day to teach health classes and then come teach with us. We're sharing our curriculum director between us and between Danville. So we're doing a lot of really great, smart things right now to better use the people that we have and the resources that we have to the best of the district's and our area's ability. So continuing to look at innovative ways to continue the collaboration. Burlington's got things that West Burlington doesn't have in terms of class sizes and class offerings and stuff like that. West Burlington has that small town feel. The teachers know the students' names, the principals know the students' names. And so we just have different unique offerings that we're able to do at West Burlington versus other schools.
Okay.
Yeah, so every school in Southeast Iowa has its own unique abilities on what they can offer and what they can't offer. Some, like Burlington, having a bigger school and a lot of new state-of-the-art stuff, brings some benefits if we can work on collaboration with West Burlington on what they can offer to students at West Burlington while still maintaining to be a student at West Burlington, as well as, MIPO or Danville or other things. So, taking a look at what can be offered, how it can work into the daily plan with other classes, and truly, at the end of the day, even if it seems difficult, what's in the best interest of the kid? Because we don't want kids leaving West Burlington just because of they have certain classes that they'd like to take at a different school that West Burlington doesn't offer. So retaining the students, but giving them the opportunity to seek those classes or those trades per se at another location that we can help facilitate transportation to and from or other things along with. Yeah.
Lee?
I believe in West Burlington, Burlington can cooperate with different things. Would be a good idea. Having them maybe have some classes that we don't offer, they can offer to us. Maybe have some class that we offer that Burlington have. If we can cooperate, that'd be a good idea. Be just helping out each other. That's what we need to do. The students of both West Burlington and Burlington, we need to work together and have a good relationship with each other.
Okay. Kale? What do you see as West Burlington's strengths and celebrations, and how can you share that with the community?
Strengths and celebrations. Obviously being a small town school, but there is a lot of updates that they have done to the school in certain areas. But some of the strengths would be the teachers that they still have and the knowledge that they bring to when they come to teaching, not being a bunch of new teachers. In the class sizes, they get to interact more with the students, being that they're not big, huge class sizes. So you get that peer-to-peer, or I guess teacher-to-peer kind of a relationship that you might not get it at another bigger school. And what was the second part of that one? Sorry.
Just how can you share these with the community?
Well, social media is kind of a double-edged sword in some regards, but social media also is a good utilization for being able to help showcase what West Burlington has to offer. And I'm trying to think on how to word it, but how to better showcase what West Burlington has to offer and get the word out about I guess I don't really know how else to word that. Sorry.
It's okay. Lee?
I think between West Burlington and Burlington, we have a good school between both schools. I think we both have good schools and good teachers. I don't know too much about Burlington school teachers, but I know West Burlington has a lot of good teachers, and they are very dedicated to the students of West Burlington and to helping the students. Even, I know sometimes after school they may end up helping some of the students.
So we've been doing a lot of work in the district on working with students where they need. So in the elementary school, they're doing what I need, win time. And so those students are meeting with, if you're struggling in math, you're meeting with the math teacher to work on your math. And then the kids who are struggling with reading are working with another teacher to work on reading. And so they're having intensive time regularly in the school day itself, not having to stay afterwards to work on what they need work on. The high school and secondary building is doing that as well with their flex time, meeting students where they are and helping bridge some of the gaps that they've maybe developed. West Burlington with smaller classes, you have much better teacher relationships, as I think Kayla had said. So just that small town feel that if you're having a bad day or if something's going on in a student's life, a teacher's going to recognize when they only have, 60 kids in a class for the entire district instead of several hundreds as bigger districts have. The extended class offerings at SEC, we've done a lot of work on our social media stuff, just giving the teachers the ability to post like, hey, look, this is what kindergarten's doing. Hey, look, this is what the band and choir kids are working on. So just being able to throw out those PR pieces at a smaller level has been a really great addition.
Lee, back down there to you. On the other side of the token there, what do you see as the district's areas for growth, and what strategies would you propose to achieve this growth?
I think having good teachers who are dedicated and willing to help with the students and getting them to motivate themselves and getting them to, let's see, how would it put it, having the students, the teachers and the students collaborate together and just work together.
Amanda?
Some opportunities for growth that I see with the district is continuing to show our teachers and our staff and our students that we value them. Obviously more money would be great.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about that. We'd need, other elected officials to be working on that for us. Room for growth. We've got older buildings that we need money for to be able to do the needed renovations and to bring them into the 21st century. We've got, I think the front wing of the elementary school is from like the 50s. So it looks really nice for being that old, but it'd be nice to have some of those fun, shiny things like other districts are able to have.
Okay.
Yeah, so just to kind of touch on what Amanda said about building updates, that's a big one when you're talking about not only the safety and security of the teachers and the students, but also just by doing those updates might expand and allow for other new areas of growth within the school, whether it be new classrooms, maybe different offerings for classes. Class offerings is a big one. How can we consistently look at what we're offering and either maintain, or if we're on a good pace, or offering new ones, whether it's through SEC, whether it's through getting students from outside schools to come in for offerings we have to touch on a while back when she mentioned about like Taylor Fountain's shop program, what that shop program has offered and allowed, just from what I hear from my kids who have taken the classes, has completely opened their eyes to new areas that they didn't even think was possible and frankly wasn't around when I was a kid. So being able to expand stuff like that, not only with him in the shop, but also in other areas that we can, and how we can better engage the kids to see different areas that they can learn and grow in.
All right, Amanda? How would you go about supporting work-based learning and apprenticeship opportunities for students?
The district's doing a lot of really great work with IJAG. We have multiple business opportunities. I know we've got a kiddo right now doing a work opportunity with, I think it's Trailways. where he's learning about what that would look like as a career option. I know a lot of our kiddos who don't plan on going to college after graduation. One of our classes right now is, okay, what do you think you want to do? Let's look around the area. Let's go talk to Carl A. Nelson. Let's go talk to Brockway. Let's go talk to Lards. Let's see what's available that you're interested in. And then let's see who's willing to take you on. Let's see who's willing to go drive around and show you how it looks to be a police officer. Let's see what opportunities we have in your own backyard during the school day to see what your career choice would look like. So just continuing to promote that, continuing to put the word out that that's something that the district's doing, and then see who in our area is interested and having a student tag along with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, for kids that are younger, maybe haven't started a job or maybe are just working a part-time job while they are in school during high school, getting them that chance to get out into the workforce, see the different opportunities, kind of figure out, what they wanted to do as a little kid probably isn't the same potentially as what they want to do as a high schooler, and trying to help gear them for reality when it sets in and they graduate and they have to figure trade school, college, or something else, military, whatever it may be. But getting the work-based learning, doing the job fairs at the mall or SEC or wherever those may take place, and getting kids out there, talking with them, getting them intrigued, and then building some sort of a survey to kind of figure out, what might work for these kids, and then trying to line them up with some of those professions that are at those job fairs to get them in for that work-based learning during the school day might be another step moving forward.
Lee?
I think between West Burlington and SEC, we have a great relationship. They are helping us out with some of our students already going to their school and getting some degrees. And I think with them helping us out and giving different career opportunities, that'll help us out with maybe going out and getting a job outside the school district, or maybe even whatever.
Thank you, Lee. Kale, how would you strengthen communication and partnerships with parents and the community to support student learning?
Well, the first effective part about communication is being an effective listener. So listening to the pros, the cons about what they're hearing or they're seeing, and then figuring out a game plan about how we take things into action to be able to fix anything that maybe. I was talking with somebody the other day about a problem they're running into, and in their situation, they thought that they were right. The school thought that they were right. And at the end of the day, he understands that there was wrong on his kid's part too, but he thought how it went about was maybe a little bit different. So in his mind, just having a middle ground instead of a this way or the highway kind of a situation would be better for his kid or any kids that have the same thing in the future. So just listening and truly listening, and then gathering the information to take back and get the other side of the story is a good way to just, when it's talking about communication and being open about stuff, things obviously some stuff you can't go out and talk about very much so. But the things that you can, just making sure that the people who are coming to you are feeling heard.
Okay. Lee?
I think having a parent-teacher conference helps out. I think maybe have the parents and some of the student and faculty get together and discuss on how we can make school better or more accessibility to the students.
Amanda?
We have less time than we've ever had because there are so many things stealing our time. We have church commitments, we have sports commitments, you have multiple kids all doing different things. And so it's been really eye-opening to see how difficult it is for parents to connect to the district and for the district to connect with parents in terms of, let's have this meeting and explain. We just put out the sales tax, I think it was last spring. And we had this meeting, we talked about this meeting was coming up, like we were excited, we had presentations, not a single person came. And so that as like district, it was like, whoo, like nobody, nobody came. But then at the same time, like we still got that sales tax. It was approved and voted on, and we're good to go for the next 10 years. But it was just, how do we get people to want to come to our things when there are so many things that they're wanted to go to? So just continuing to be flexible, whether that's Google Forms asking like, hey, what can we do better? Or what ideas do you have? Having those open lines of communication that aren't set time specific, but reach out.
Okay. Lee, back down to you there. With school safety and student behavior being high priorities, how would you support teachers and administrators in managing disruptive behaviors while also ensuring a safe and positive learning environment?
Well, that was kind of a hard question to answer because I know when I was in school, there was a lot of students that was disruptive and they were just sent home. Now I think sending them home is not doing anything. They just have the superintendent and maybe the parents come in and talking about what your student is doing and what can we do. Is there something at home or is there something in whatever? Because it's just, having a disruptive student disrupts the whole classroom then.
Yeah, that's going to take more than 90 seconds. There's a lot of different components of that question. Obviously, school safety. The current political climate that we're in is just, it's terrifying as a parent sending your kids to school. And the schools, I think, are doing what they think is best at the time, but you don't know until something happens and then you all learn from what happened someplace else. If we had all the money in the world, we could do more than we're doing currently. But at what point is money being spent unwisely, because we are using tax dollars, where it's a very fine line as to what's spending tax dollars, resources, or tax money wisely, what's best for students. When you say what's best for students, what's best for all students, there's just a lot of parts of that question. Disruptive behaviors, we have to look again at the mental health. Is there something going on at home that we need to work on? Is there, maybe it's just two kids that are butting heads where maybe we separate them for future classes. But yes, very complicated question.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a long question to answer, but first and foremost, school safety. If your school is not safe, and when I say safe, I don't mean from just the outside. I mean from the kids that are actually attending that school. You have a huge problem, right? Nobody should be getting picked on. Nobody should be getting beat up. Nobody should be feeling threatened in a place that's supposed to feel safe. So making sure that that's a top priority when you're talking in regards to this question, that's number one. Number two, I firmly believe there's not enough given to teacher mental health. On a daily basis, I couldn't be a teacher. Right. I can sometimes barely deal with my own 4 kids at home. Right. But you really got to hear the teachers and know that they're the ones dealing with some of these disruptive kids day in and day out. And what is that doing for them? Not only class to class, but, every single day. How is that affecting them? And how can we be there for them to support them, knowing that we have their back to make sure that they're being taken care of in those kind of times of need? The other thing would be disruptive kids. How do we go about that specifically? Because it's not just that kid that's the problem. He's disrupting the learning abilities of the other kids that are in class. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So making sure that the policies, procedures are in place to make sure that we relieve that situation, figure out how to better help it, and if there is anything at home too, to see what we can do.
Okay. Well, that's who I was going with. I think you're next.
Sure.
So, Gail, what are your recommendations for attracting and retaining high-quality educators and staff to the West Burlington Independent School District?
Well, money talks, right? But money only
Every time.
talks so far, right? One of my big things I would really like to look at, and it's not just West Burlington, I hear it statewide, is health insurance. And I know it's a tough subject, okay? And I know I deal with insurance too. So, but it's not necessarily just the salary itself that keeps them, but what are the other benefits that we have that we can offer that maybe sets us apart? What kind of health insurance are we doing? Where is it through to maybe better offer that for the teachers? Because I mean, the cost of that's only going up, and I completely understand that. But what are we going to do to pull us out of the norm that we've been in, to have better offerings, to keep those incentives going, to keep our teachers enticed to stay with us, and not just the yearly raises that they get? So those big things are the things that I kind of want to really sit down and dig into and figure out, whether it is health insurance. I mean, retirement is kind of its own gambit. So you have limitations with that, but really just getting in and understanding what we can do to offer to them to show that we care about them and we appreciate them choosing our school out of every other school that they could go work at.
Well, sometimes I think the legislature likes to hand out money. I think they just like to let the school boards and school districts just go at it and try to find a way to get money. School districts cannot find money out unless the government starts giving us some money, and for the salary, for insurance, and for all kinds of things we need to do to keep good teachers in school district. I think West Burlington has a lot of good teachers. I've never seen one bad teacher in West Burlington in all the years that I've gone to West Burlington. And that started in 1957. And I just think that we need to have the government start doling out more money and keep the school districts in charge of the school.
I think something that we could do, again, with all the money in the world, we could do a lot more than we're doing. But just continuing to let our teachers know that we do hear them, that we do support them, giving them that, like, good on you. Like, we saw that you were doing this and we think that's really cool. So continuing to do the Facebook shout outs or the social media shout outs on, look at what this teacher is doing. This teacher just won this award. Continuing to push those things out into the public so that they feel those accolades and that appreciation, because it's really hard to celebrate something that you don't know about. I think giving them the tools that they need. Recently, they'd said, we just want more time to work with our grade levels to be able to collaborate better than we are, or look to the class below and say, hey, it would really help me out if you would teach fractions differently than you're teaching them, or, whatever they could be doing from different grade levels. And so giving them that time, we looked at the calendar and it was, let's give them one Friday a month that they get to do that, instead of every Friday getting out 2 hours early so that they have time to close up their class, say, hey guys, and then leave again. But just really listening to what it is that they need and what they want and how we can best support them in the job that they're doing.
Thank you. Lee, I'll start down there with you. I've got one last question here. Looking ahead 5 to 10 years, what is your vision for the district, and how would you measure the board's success in achieving that?
We just need to keep the district open, keep the students interested, and keep our hopes and dreams alive.
In the next 5 to 10 years, I would like to see that all students are succeeding, whether that's getting to grade level, getting beyond grade level, being set up for what their future looks like. For our preschoolers, their future isn't even necessarily a reality right now because the technology hasn't been created yet. I think we have to prepare them for what we don't know in the future and giving them the best tools that we can for the whole student, for the social parts of school, for the academic parts of school, for the sports parts. Continuing to work with them on these are real life skills. This is a checkbook. This is how you spend money. This is how you budget. So that our students are healthy, functioning, real live adults.
Okay.
Yeah, so obviously, making sure we have a good, strong fiscal budget when it comes to what we can afford and what we want. Planning out for upgrades, updates, and making sure that we're setting money aside, not just for when it happens, but before it happens to get things fixed. Elementary is a big priority of trying to get updates done there in the near future. So you're talking down the road. That's kind of the next big piece in my mind because of its age. Real world preparedness, like Amanda said, getting them to that level. So when they graduate, they get that diploma, they walk off the stage. As the board, we, whoever it may be at whatever time, feels confident that they are putting a bright, young, smart, sophisticated kid out into the public to feel proud of the fact that they graduated from West Burlington and they can help succeed our economy, our world, whatever it may be that they choose to do. And then obviously test scores. How can we constantly improve our test scores, getting to kids, whether it's day-to-day learning, however else we can do that to make sure that we're getting back to the top of the state when it comes to what our school's test scores come back at.
Okay. Amanda, we'll get to our closing remarks. In 60 seconds, please share with us what sets you apart from the other candidates.
Well, to be honest, there's no set us apart. We're all, in my opinion, all three equal. I think we all three have good ideas for the West Burlington Independent School District. I believe that if all three, if we get elected, I know they'll all do a good job.
Right. Can you say the question?
Yep. Just share with us what's going to set you apart from the
Okay.
other candidates.
I think something that sets me apart is just having the experience and knowing what situation the district's in currently will help me specifically. I think I have done a good job the last 4 years, and I'm eager to continue to do a good job for the district, for all of our students, just for our entire community. The community is, the school, even if you don't have a student going to the school, having a good school district is best for every community. So continuing to do that for West Burlington.
Okay.
My dad spent 13 years on the West Burlington School Board, so he's kind of set the standard for me on getting in and doing what's right, learning from some of the things that, picking his brain from things of what he did back in the day, maybe we can use now or enhance. I have a really good relationship with a lot of the current and even retired staff of the school. So, having that connection with them to be able to have them be able to talk, to bring things up to the board, and once again, make them feel heard is a big thing. I do interact with a lot of the students too there, just because of the varying ages of my kids that do attend there. So having the teacher interaction, the student interaction, I know a lot of people in West Burlington being born and raised there and really only being moved out for a few years before returning, I think is going to kind of help push me to the next level when it comes to the West Burlington School Board.
All right. Thank you, Cale.
Thanks.
I want to thank each of you for your interest in serving your community. Public service can often be a thankless job, but we need dedicated individuals to serve. I also want to thank the Greater Burlington Partnership, the Chamber of Commerce, and its Government Relations Committee for hosting this event. Finally, thank you to those in the audience here and who have been watching online for your interest in the school board. Please remember to vote for the candidate of your choice on Tuesday, November 4th.